Well then, welcome to another webinar by Chemical Engineering Life. Thank you so very much for willing to sign up and then for joining us today. I'll start off by giving a very brief introduction to the organization and Chemical Engineering Life. So our timeline, we founded the organization back in February 2021. So we've been in the business for 2 years now. In the very first initiative we did was we used to interview different chemical engineers around the globe and just to know what they were up to, what they were working, and what a typical everyday life looks like for a chemical engineer. This led us to the launch of our mentorship program, which I'll speak more in a minute. And then last year in March 2022, that's when we launched our webinars, which consists of both free and paid webinars in order to connect different students, young engineers, graduates with industrial engineers so they can come and share their wisdom with everyone. And then at the same time, last year, we have successfully launched our online courses as well. And the idea for the organization and for our webinars and the courses is to provide the information or to help you understand the industrial application of chemical engineering rather than the theoretical application of chemical engineering. Because of course, we all know how to design a heat exchanger. We all know how to calculate or use calculus to solve some equations. But in reality, what we've tried to focus on is to understand how chemical engineering finds its place in the real world for career-wise and for your and what sort of steps you should take in terms of job search and etc. So that's essentially what we do. The first purpose of an organization like ours is to create a community because chemical engineers, they are spread out all over the globe. And regardless of if you are from a different country or from different university or from different culture or whatnot, we are connected through the engineering degree. So we all have the same knowledge, we have the same mindset, and we all trying to achieve the same thing. So therefore, through the organization, we try to encourage people so that they can connect with someone from a different country or from different place, from even from a different university from the same country, just so that you can learn from their experience, and then you don't have to make the same mistakes that the other did. At the same time, through our interviews and the mentorship program, we are actively trying to connect people from different areas. For example, if you are a young graduate and you would like to know more about how it feels like to work in the pharma industry, then you can actually do so through the mentorship program, or you can learn more about those individuals through our interviews. And like I said earlier, through our webinars and through our courses, you can get a chance to get the direct real life application or real life knowledge from these industrial engineers. So to speak about our biggest initiative, which is the mentorship program, the mentorship program happens every year, twice every year, 5 months at a time. So far, we have actually done around 6 sessions, and so far we have had more than 400 participants from different countries. I think if you were to put a number on it, I think we have participants joining us from around 16 different countries from all different levels, so from bachelor's, master's, and PhDs. And like I said earlier, so the entire purpose of the mentorship program is to allow you to connect with someone from the industry or from the research. So for example, if you are a young engineer or even someone that has been in the industry, but you don't really know what sort of career that you want to have, if you would like to go into the oil industry or you want to go into the pharma sector or you want to go into the food sector, and then you want to know how it feels to work on those areas, then the mentorship program is for you, because then you can ask help, then we can help you get connected with someone from that sector, from that industry, so that you can ask them the questions and you can learn more about and make a more informed choice about your career. So if you are interested, then feel free to go to our website, www.ChemEnggLife.com, and then you can join and sign up for the mentorship program either as a mentee or as a mentor. So, and the membership from our organization is completely free. The mentorship program is completely free. The webinars are also both free and paid, and we also have both free and paid courses. So, because it doesn't cost you anything to become a free member. So do go to the website and become a free member, and you can always stay updated on our upcoming initiatives. So thank you. And then I think I'll give the mic over to you, Saud. I'll stop sharing so you can start sharing your screen.
Yeah, Hamza, thank you very much for introducing your company. And I say ChemEnggLife is our own community. It's not limited to Hamza Imtiazullah or any other engineer. It's a global community, and it's an honor for me to present my second webinar for this global community. So, Hamza, would you allow my screen sharing?
Yes, I just make you the host, so you should be able to share the screen now. And thank you so very much, Saud. And just like Saud said, it doesn't really belong to one person, but rather it actually belongs to you yourself. Every single person that is a member, it actually belongs to them. And it goes without saying, we actually are truly grateful to Mr. Saud Khalid, because had a very active role in the organization, both as a mentor and also as a guest speaker, and that has always been very good with feedback, which has really helped us improve the organization. So thank you so very much, Saud, for willing to once again be the guest speaker for the webinar. And it's very difficult to find experienced people like you who are willing to share their wisdom for free. So it truly means a lot that you're willing to do so multiple times for the organization. So thank you, Saud.
Yeah, sure, Hamza. Okay, let's begin our topic of discussion today. So, topic is quality management system QMS and auditing. That how we're gonna what are the major steps adopted during the auditing in the process industry or any industry. So, here's a brief introduction about me. That who am I? Actually, I'm working as a process chemical engineering consultant in Pakistan, and I've been attached to different firms in Pakistan, like Fertier is a fertilizers company, and is SCI South Chemical Industry, and then Agri Chemical Industry Private Limited. Recently, we have acquired a project from China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, and we are trying to find out our approval in the coming months for a new sulfuric acid production line here in Pakistan. And here's my complete business profile, so you can check it out later, all about my discussion and my LinkedIn profile. So let's begin with our topic of discussion. So why we need quality management system in any kind of process or business? The management of the standards and the key performance indicator is required for the continuous growth of the business and for the timely progress of the business, developing it from small scale to a global or commercial market scale success. So, in today's competitive business world, why QMS is required that it is a robust quality system combined with auditing and practices which serve as for the cornerstone for achieving its goal. Whether the goal is in terms of financial success or in terms of its making it from national to an international brand. Then why QMS? QMS is collection of policies. Any policies like we have key performance indicators, we have different procedures and plans for our business and industries, and we have developed some production processes and practices how we're gonna do our jobs in that industry or then sector of any business, and then how an organization is going to achieve its product and customer services quality and how to satisfy a customer. All of these things are actually cleared, actually calculated by the quality management system. So, what are the basic components of QMS? Hamza, is the screen sharing visible to all of the participants? I've not checked it
If
below.
I can see your screen.
Okay. You can see it.
Yep.
Okay, let's talk about the components. So the policy comprises of quality policy. What is the quality standard policy by the company to deliver its customer satisfaction and achieve its quality goals? And what are the objectives? Objectives are basically set by the organization itself in terms of financial objective, in terms of economic objective, or in terms of branding, in terms of software designing. What kind of aspects they're gonna achieve during this quality management system implementation. And then next is the process by which a policy or by which method they're going to adopt and go for this process to achieve the QMS audit. Then next is the documentation. It is a key step in QMS. We have comprehensive record keeping of any process. It is whether business or in the production unit or like daily ship logs, daily reports of the production, daily quality reports. In term of I'm speaking in term of the chemical industry. In term of the dispatch product or the standard which are adopted in the product quality. Then next step is the training. We have to train our employer. We have to train our customers as well to equip them with the necessary skills. How gonna they maintain their standards of the production and how gonna achieve their they are going to achieve their standard. Then there is the risk management. What kind of risk involved during the production or what kind of possible hazards in the lifetime or lifespan of an product or any process during the production phase, and what kind of the risk which can impact the quality of any product or services. Then next is the continuous improvement. We have to improve our services and the product quality with the time. This is generated. This is really generated on the basis of the data collected from the customers or from the market. What kind of products are selling these days? What's the quality of our product? How is our product competing in the market? And at which financial goals are obtained due to our service in the market? And what kind of financial and quality results we are getting back from our quality product and services? So why we need QMS? First, we have to satisfy our customers. Enhance customer satisfaction through consistent quality and product and services. We have to tell our customer that we are producing our product with quality production lines, and we have the top quality of our premium products. We are like I'm speaking about the fertilizer sector and acid sector. We have different grades of acids. So we have to provide all of the details of our key products to the customer. Then, what is the efficiency and reduced weight? In any production, there are some production losses. So we have to tackle with waste as well. Then complies with the industry regulations and standard. We have to follow the industry environmental safety, industry safety, and local government standards to comply within their registered legal parameters and to control the pollution as well. Then next is the management role, which is better decision making based on data driven insights. What kind of insights we are obtaining from our market or from customer, and what kind of decision we need to take on basis of our customer input or our feedback generated from our local workers as well. Then finally is boosted employee morale and engagement as a result to made a clearly defined role and responsibility. So when there is a positive input, we usually have to enhance our employee education level, employee training level, employee moral level, so that he can deliver what we need to obtain from it. Like in case of industries, we have target of productions, we have target of quality. Like most of the cases in the peak season, there is more production units are in race of producing more and more units, product units for the consumer. Like in case of fertilizer sector, we have the fertilizers during the crop sowing and seeding seasons. So the production units are working at more peak capacity of their production line. So in that phase, we have to train our employer for better goal achievement, for better product quality achievement, and we have to raise his morale for so that he can deliver what kind of goals we are expecting from him. Then what are the principle of QMS? There are mostly standards which are usually driving the QMS objectives and goals. So I'm gonna show you. There are basically 7 major key quality management principles. First is customer focus. That what kind of demands customer is asking to us for our product or for our quality, for our production unit. Then step 2 is the leadership. What is the leadership doing for this company? What is the leadership is doing for an industry? What kind of decision they are taking? On which databases they are going to make a better decision for this organization. Third is the engagement of people. We have to empower our employee. We have to recognize all of the efforts made by our employee and the staff, and we have to enhance their skills and knowledge. Next is the process approach. Like I'm talking about sulfuric acid production, there is a process of 2 different process approaches. One is single contact, and second is double contact absorption process. So both the process production approaches are different. We need to select which process is suitable for which grade of quality we are going to make the acid, and what kind of better results can be achieved as comparison to the other process. For example, I have just talked about sulfuric acid sector. We have two process. One is single contact, single absorption. Second is double contact, double absorption process. On the basis of environmental objectives, on the basis of product quality objectives, on the basis of the product results, this double absorption process is widely adopted process as compared to the single contact, because the process approach is basically done to obtain the optimized performance. So in this case, DCDA is highly optimized performance. So we need to approach the second, like DCDA approach. Step 5 is improvement. The improvement with the time are required in our process, like how can we tackle our cost during the production supply cutoff? How are we going to do the the audits during that phase when production is at low stages or when the high production demand is required. What kind of improvement we can make to our product? Next is the evidence-based decision making. We collect the data from our customer, we collect the data from our suppliers and the market. Then we analyze all of the problems or all of the gap areas which can be improved with the time, so that the evidence-based decision making is highly recommended for any industry or any business. So QMS is highly focused on evidence-based decision making. And last one is the relationship management. We have to maintain the relation with our other business partners. We have to maintain the relation with our clients by providing them a premium quality products, or we have to develop the relation, or we need to sustain the relation with the government as well, or the legal authorities which are in this area, to ensure the suitable quality management principles and key performance indicator can be interpreted for our product. Next, customer focus. I've just explained you before. So this is a brief description that customer focus is based on the expectation of the customer, and leadership is basic on depending on the organization leadership, what decision they are going to take for the organization. Next is the engagement of people. Are the people engaged during the whole process? Yes. Most of the organization nowadays take their key insight of the people within their organization as well as from the customers. And next is the process approach. What kind of process or can be suitable for a particular businesses, and then depending upon the process optimization, or like we can say that what kind of results can be achieved for adopting two comparative policies, then the optimized and the superior one process is adopted. Next is the continuous improvement. With the time, the Kaznian, like principle Kaznian, is adapted to ensure the continuous improvement. uh, Next, we come on to the evidence-based decision making. We need to highlight from the data. We need to take important results and conclusions from the data, and we then go for the decision making. Which kind of policy we need to adopt for our product? What kind of process we are looking forward to adopt for our production line? How can we achieve peak production with low supply and demand gap? And all these issues are highly interpreted on the basis of evidence-based decision making. Next, in the relationship management, we have to maintain with the customer and the client. Finally, is the system approach to the management. How can the system can be responding to the management or the decision, what kind of decisions they are adopting for the organization, and how the system reacts to this. And that last two are basically two interpretation of these whole 7 points. First is factual approach to decision maker. We need to check on the facts and figures. We need to interpret the data, and then we go for decision making. And at last, we need to make a pair pair of supply and demand. Okay, then we need to discuss the gap between suppliers and demand or the market, and we maintain their relationship by providing them a suitable communication, open communication, and we share our goal with the clients as well as the suppliers. So next is the auditing. That was the QMS section, that why you QMS, what are the 7 principles, and next is the auditing. Why auditing required? So as we can see from the diagram and the written paragraph, we need to evaluate what kind of process we are doing for our production facility, or what kind of our business performance is going these days. We need to assess all of the critical elements during our production phase or the running phase of any business or any industry. So the seminar is focused on the industry side. I will discuss it with relevant to the industry. Auditing is systematic process of evaluating an organization's process, practice, and procedure to ensure compliance with established standard regulations and internal policies. What kind of policies are provided by the government? What are the standards adopted by our competitive industries? We need to cover all these points to ensure smooth running of our business, and to like you can for our production, for our supply, for our inventory, for our dispatch, and all of these subclasses of audits are then finally collected on the basis of the reports we collect from the auditing. So next, what is the goal of auditing? The goal of auditing is just to ensure the quality and management system is highly achieved and it is adopted for this production line. And what are the areas of importance we need to look forward for further improvement? Okay, next, why auditing is required, and then what kind of critical role it can do for our organization. It serves as a critical tool to ensure process and function as intended. What are our goals and how can we can come out our flaws or gaps during our production facilities and production challenges in our plants. So, what kind of steps are followed in audits? First, you have to plan what are your goals for the audit, what can how many member can do that audit, how your team gonna present you the whole report and discussion. Next is the preparation. We need to collect all the data and communication and documentation and standards which are defined by the government. Then we have to compare all of the industry or any business data from that company which we need to audit. Next, we need to develop an audit plan, either by visiting that site or just by arranging their file or documentation to our third-party clients, or just invite them for an industry audit. Next is conducting the audit. Audit can be conducted on site or just by inviting the third-party audits or any client-based service to go and visit an industry, but with their objective. So, for example, in case I was discussing about conducting the audit, and then the major step is reporting. All of the auditing is done. We have to classify our data, document and auditing finding, which kind of weaknesses, and we do the SWOT analysis, what kind of our strengths in this process or in production unit, what are our weaknesses in the production line, what are the opportunities, and what are the areas of improvement available. Then we classify the finding either by technical, by financial, by business, by economic area, by transportation, by supply demand chain, and what kind of stock are available. So we classify all our finding, and next is the audit report. We provide the client or any customer a complete audit report. It contains all the documentation and data we have just obtained from the industry or that production unit, their own data, and then what data we have analyzed and processed, and what are our findings and the classification of findings, and we just then compile our whole report with continuous improvement and suggestions for their area of improvements. Then closing meeting. Next step is most of the businesses when audit is done, there is a meeting with the client or with the industry owners. Next is the follow up. We suggest some improvement tips and mechanisms to our clients so that they can adopt their new policies which can be helpful for their own running businesses as well as for industrial units. Like in case the sulfuric acid plant, so I did their whole order of their plant. They have some issues with the pipeline and sodium. So we just simply suggested them to place the
I'm,
all those
I'm
pipes.
sorry,
So,
Saud. Your sound is a bit mushy.
yeah, yeah. Okay. Is
Yeah,
it
but
clear now?
yeah, it's much better now. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just trying to say that recently I visited a plant. There was some corrosion challenges in pipeline of coolers. So we asked them to replace the whole corroded pipes because there is no other solution, or it is not recommended to use the corroded pipe for more than period of 6 months if the production line is about to plan for the production phase. So if they are going to go with the corroded pipes, then they will definitely suffer a huge damage for their own organization. So we suggested them to replace their whole pipe. So as a finding or as a follow up, I do visit their organization on a regular basis and we check that how in which stages they have made improvement and what kind of results they have achieved from the replacement of their pipes. So next follow up, we have some suggestions for our uh, uh, then we give them some suggestions regarding to their continuous improvement. We provide them audits inside that what kind of area of weaknesses they have recognized now and how they can improve their area of weakness. Like in case of production facilities, most of the industries face the challenge of new improvement. People here are not ready to do the improvements for their own plants, but with the passage of time or with the results finding, they assess the value of suggestions. So they go for continuous improvement, and at finally they check on for the regulatory compliance and providing evidence to the client. Okay. Next is auditing in industries. Purpose of auditing. As we have just discussed, the purpose that to ensure what kind of the processes, practices, and records are carried out in an organization which complies to the standard and policies. Like most of the cases, the standards are ISO standard, ISO 9001, ISO 9000 standard, or ISO triple one 002 here in Pakistan. So there are different types of standards based on the local or domestic government as well as the international standards. So types of audit, I think, can be internal audit conducted by the team within the industry. Like most of the industries contain their department of reconciliation RCM, reconciliation compatibility management. They do audits for themselves without inviting any third party clients or any third party for checking their reports and tracking their improvement. Next is external audit. Here in Pakistan or in any other countries, we have clearly seen that external audits are highly appreciated and followed in the industry because the third party clearly depicts the whole report and the clear picture of the audit to the client, to the industry. They do the audit without any biasing. I mean, they don't take any party that either from the customers are good or clients are good or the services are offered from industries are good. They don't judge them. They just provide a clear picture to the client that what kind of processes are in fast stage in your industry, how you can improve their quality of the process in your industry, and what kind of independent decision you can take for your quality improvement. And next is the supplier audit. What is the quality of supply you are taking from your suppliers? So you just ask the supplier auditing to provide the complete record and tracking of the products, and then you assess for the processes. Next is the auditing outcomes. So, why we need auditing? We have discussed. What are the benefits and what can be the outcomes from audit? We we recognize the gap. What are the gaps in the process? Next, what kind of assurance we can deliver to our stakeholders regarding the organization commitment to quality. Finally, is the validating our results and objectives we have received from our audit. Last one, helping in maintaining compliance with the industry standard and regulation like ISO certifications, the health and safety standards, the quality standards, as well as the food and safety standards. Okay, the widely adopted standard is ISO 9001 standard, which is the widely applied standard across the world. 9001 standard, and it is used for continual improvement in the organization. It provides the factual approach for the decision making, and it is mutually beneficial for the supplier as well as the manufacturer. Here are some audits example. ISO 9100. It is used for aerospace industry. IATF is a standard for the automotive industry, widely adopted in the world. Then there is ISO 13485 for the medical industry, and ISO 9000 is it's a general standard 9000, and it is highly applicable to any industry. Next, what are the quality objectives during our production process? We in an audit we have quality goals. That quality must be in synchronization with the quality policy. For example, in terms of sulfuric acid or in terms of fertilizer, there are some quality grades for our products. So our quality is defined. We have to manufacture 98% grade of sulfuric acid for our production. Product quality, what kind of assignment organizational function are assigned to our production team, and then we track uh, whole production and whole the process stages by the top management. The top management is responsible for tracking all the record and data and the audits. Then what kind of quality procedures they need to adopt step by step. What the company does to meet the policy, we check on that. What kind of regulations are applied to our company and the organization, and how it is uh, adopting the policy requirement. And then we develop an SOP for ISO principle to meet our client and the international standard of productions, and what kind of process or procedure that affect the quality. Like there are some technical issues relevant to sulfuric acid production, such as environmental problems or the challenges of pollution or the challenges of challenges like I can say challenges like water quality or any contamination issues. So we have to deal with all of the challenges during our production phase. Okay. Okay, 9000 and 9001 standard is some description of it. It is a highly wide standard adopted across the world to ensure the product services are consistent with the intended purpose. So, what are four key focus of this standard? First is customer satisfaction. We need to satisfy our customer what kind of quality he is trying to ask from our product and our services. Then it highlights the continual improvement of performance and competitiveness. That how our company is running its business and what kind of profits or financial strategies we have adopted for our business and what kind of industrial returns we are obtaining from our product and services. Next is the continual improvement of process, product, and services. Like I'm talking about sulfuric acid, there are two processes, so we need to improve, adopt the process which is highly optimized as compared to the other one. And then we have products, the quality of the products, the challenges with the product, and services. What kind of services we can offer for our business or from the industry, outside the industry, and within staying within the industry. And for next is the comply with the regulatory requirement. There are some national standards of environmental safety, food, health, industrial safety. You know all of the government requirements and the financial and the law restrictions. So we need to comply within that regulatory requirements. ISO standard 9000 is highly organizational registration. Next, it's more credible in the world marketplace, confronting the organizational steps. It basically develops a quality of manual for assessing the quality of products and services. There is a complete documentation adopted for the customer focus strategy, then documents procedure of how everything will be reported, report preparation, provided to the complete report provided to the client as well as the customer. Next, security and top management commitment to the QMS and continuous improvement. We need to improve our our industrial quality and key performance indicators, and we need to show the commitment of our organization by ensuring that our top management is interested in adopting the QMS standard. And the next is the customer requirement and determination, that how is he determined to buy our product or our service? Is he satisfied with our quality of the products? Is he is looking forward for an improved product? Next, conducting and our own internal audits. We usually have to do the check and balance with our daily production quality, our production targets achieved within a month or within a week. We need to satisfy our key performance indicators, and we need to assess critically all of the gaps present between the production, the supply and demand chain, and the customer and the production. Next is the external audits from the accepted register. This is the highly recommended step in any organization, because the third party do complete audit without any taking the side of the either client or the party or the employees. It usually present a picture, complete and clear picture of what kind of challenges we have during our production phase, and finally what kind of outcomes we can take from it. Customer benefits, we critically analyze and we get to know about is our customer is satisfied with our requirements, is he is looking forward to a competitive prices, is he is more interested by developing his confidence in our products, and what kind of quality he is expecting from us. So there is a complete summary. So ISO 9001 standard is like it is highly adopted standard in the world, and total capability are not fully in the TQM. Let me explain that. TQM. TQM is a whole different thing. In TQM, we go with all the quality of product from the service, from the production. But in QMS, we critically assess an overall idea and overall audit of our the whole system. Next, ISO 9001. It is a widely internationally regulation. What kind of aim we are achieving from it? The aim of ISO 9000 is to enable organizations to better serve their customers and more be competitive in the marketplace by adhering to quality management principles. So, how we improve ourselves? Improving our operation, improving the quality management system, improving the consistency of the quality, improving the customer satisfaction, how we satisfy our customer, what are our operations need, how is our operation lacking from production side, from one side of our reactants. Like let me explain an example of a sulfuric acid reaction. We have operation from single contact or double contact side. What kind of reactants we are having it? What is the mixing ratio of our operation? How we gonna start the production phase? what kind of challenges associated during the reaction, the chemical stages involved in this process, how can we improve the how can we improve the consistency of our process. Then next step is the consistency of quality. We have like industrial controllers, we have the industrial quality checker at different production units. Like in case of sulfuric acid, we have a connectivity system which continuously improve and check the consistency of quality and maintain its product yield at 98% weight by weight. Next is the customer satisfaction. Our customer demands from us like 90% sulfuric acid. They are looking forward to buy, or they are looking forward to buy 98% grade of sulfuric acid. So we need to categorize their customer demand, and we need to satisfy so that the relationship between the customer and the manufacturer remains up good and it survives for a long time. Next is the competitive posture. How other the industries are producing their product, and how we're gonna challenge them, and how we can survive within the business by offering the clients a competitive market space. And next is to confirm the customer requirement. What is our customer looking for? Looking forward to buy from us. What kind of quality he's asking for, and what kind of price he's offering, or what kind of price he can pay for us. So all of these points are highly discussed in this QMS system. So we critically assess the whole process. And finally, any question and answers. So I'm looking forward to you.
Thank you so very much, Saud. Does anyone has any questions they would like to ask?
Yes, sir. Hello.
Yes,
Yeah,
hello.
yeah. We are listening to you.
Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. I have written query in the chat box, but I will ask,
Yeah,
sir,
yeah.
is the yeah, sir, is ISO standardization is relatable to industry type? Like in 9000, there is forced on project management, and in 14,000, and impact of environment is included. Like such, I'm asking, is ISO standardization is relatable to industry type? What?
It depends. It depends. I agree. It depends on the type of an industry. Like in case of chemical industry, we have standards of 9,000, 9,001, 9,005, and standard like 1003, 1005 in case of chemical and petrochemical plants. In case of industry, environmental industry, the standards are different. So it varies with the product quality, with the process adopted during the production phase, what kind of possible threats from the process, what are the safety hazards from the process, what are environmental implications from the process. So it varies on depending upon the production process of any business, or it can be depending upon any kind of operation which is followed in an industry for the manufacturing of any kind of chemical or like mechanical products.
Sure, sir. Thanks. Thank you so much.
Great, thank you. Does anyone else have any other question they would like to ask?
So example of sulfuric acid was just given because of the my like we are dealing in sulfuric acid production across Pakistan, and we have recently acquired a project from China Pakistan Economic Corridor Organization. So the example is primarily focused on sulfuric acid because depending upon my type of consultancy firm. So does anyone have any question regarding to this webinar, or any other question to the field?
Great.
Hamza,
Yes,
I
not.
think
But
your
but of
question.
course we will be sharing the Saud's LinkedIn profile with the recordings as well. So if you have any question afterwards, or if you think of any other question later on, feel free to reach out to him anytime. And then I hope that's okay, Saud, if they can reach out to you later and ask their questions if the need be.
Yeah, yeah.
Great. But then thank you so very much, Saud, for
Yeah,
the wonderful presentation, and for once again being on the webinar with us. And it is truly appreciated that you find time to share all this information with all the young engineers. And thank you to all the participants for willing to sign up and for joining in, especially on a Sunday evening. And like I said, so the recording will be sent out to all of you. And it will also be uploaded on our YouTube channel. So you'll be able to go and watch it anytime later on. Or if you would like to go back and listen to what Saud said about some of the points. And if you guys have any question that comes to your mind afterwards, feel free to reach out to either to Saud, or you can also directly reach out to us on the website. And we'll be more than happy to answer any question that you all may have. But then, thank you so very much, Saud, and thank you so very much to all of you for joining in. And I hope you all have a lovely evening. And also, do remember to check out the website for other future webinars. And if you find any of them interesting, then feel free to sign up for them as well. Thank you.
Yeah, that's sure. Thank you for once again for having me on this webinar. And if anyone is looking forward to connect with me, just add me on your LinkedIn profile or follow my LinkedIn profile on LinkedIn, or you can contact me by my email address provided on my LinkedIn profile. So no issue. And Hamza, can we stay for meeting? We can stay after this webinar on meeting as well
Yes, of
for some
course.
discussion.
Of course.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, of course.
Thank you, everyone
Thank you, everyone.
for bearing us.
Mhm.
So it was a great experience to have a discussion and chit chat with you regarding some technical knowledge.